We've heard it 1,000 times.
But if there's one message that needs to cut through all this, the vaccines are safe. I promise you, they are safe and effective.
In tens of thousands who have put themselves on the line to prove to the country and the world that these are safe and effective products.
We've been all across the country with the same message, but we're going to the places where the numbers need to get better.
That message:
it's safe, it's effective, it's free.
There is no guarantee, and anyone who's been involved in vaccinology will tell you, that we will have a safe and effective vaccine.
I didn't want to take someone else's opinion as fact, so I set out to form my own opinion based on the facts. Throughout my research for my new film, The Big Jab, I've come across dozens and dozens of studies on the COVID-19 vaccine. Before my documentary is finished, I wanted to share 4 startling facts about the COVID-19 vaccine. Before we get started, I want to make it clear, everything used in this video is not my opinion. These are actual, factual studies available to the public. Florida Surgeon General issues guidance on mRNA vaccines. Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph A. Ladapo issued mRNA COVID-19 vaccine guidelines. The analysis that was ran found an 84% increase in relative incidence of cardiac-related death among males ranging from 18 to 39 years old within 28 days of getting the mRNA jab. Quote, with a high level of global immunity to COVID-19, the benefit of vaccination is likely outweighed by this abnormally high risk of cardiac-related death among men in this age group, end quote. The Florida Surgeon General is recommending that males 18 to 39 not get the mRNA jab. Recently, the FDA and CDC have came out and stated that this study by the Florida Surgeon General is wrong. Yet we hear over and over to trust the science and listen to the medical professionals. Let's take a quick look at Dr. Ladapo's resume. Professor at University of Florida, UF, College of Medicine. Associate Professor at the David Geffen School of Medicine at the University of California, UCLA. Graduated at Wake Forest University. Holds a MD from Harvard Medical School and a PhD in health policy from Harvard Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. Doesn't seem like your average conspiracy theorist to me. Bill Gates fooled everyone. Bill Gates profited off the mRNA vaccine, pushed it, then sold stocks, then started trashing the mRNA technology when he had no more to financially gain. In September of 2019, roughly 3 months before Patient X, Bill Gates invested $55 million in BioNTech, a German biotechnology company. The same company who went on to produce the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine for Pfizer. So it would probably surprise you when I tell you that Bill Gates recently sold the mRNA stock for roughly $500 million. Not surprised yet? Okay, how about this? Shortly after selling that stock, Mr. Gates stepped off the hype train for mRNA vaccines. Let me put it like this. Bill Gates, the inventor of Microsoft, businessman, author. Notice how I didn't say anything about medical training. PhD, RN, MD, medical expert, literally anything to do with knowing what to or not to put into your body. Yet this is the man that we saw nearly every day preaching to us about how it's our duty to get the jab. Yet this is the same man who bought stock in a vaccine company before the pandemic even started, mind you, then pushed the vaccine on millions of Americans, said over and over and over that they're, quote, safe and effective, end quote. Then when about 3/4 of the country is vaccinated and you've sold most of, if not all of your stocks, you say they're not very effective and we need better ones. Sounds pretty damn shady to me. COVID-19 antibodies reproduced in bone marrow. There was a study published back in May of 2021 by Nature.com. The study threw cold water on the so-called experts who said natural immunity wasn't effective or not as effective as the vaccine. The study states the following, quote, long-lived bone marrow plasma cells are a persistent and essential source of protective antibodies. Individuals who have recovered from COVID-19 have a substantially lower risk of reinfection. It has been reported that levels of anti-SARS-CoV-2 serum antibodies decrease rapidly in the first few months after infection, raising concerns that long-lived BMPCs may not be generated, and humoral immunity against the SARS-CoV-2 may be short-lived. The study shows that recovered individuals who suffered mild COVID-19 symptoms, the antibodies declined in the first 4 months, but then gradually over the following 7 months, remaining detectable for at least 11 months after infection. This study indicates that the COVID-19 antibodies could reproduce for up to a lifetime. The link to the full study is below. Vaccine being injected wrong. What if I told you the COVID-19 vaccine is being injected wrong most of the time? No way, right? Well, listen to this. I first came across this startling data from Dr. John Campbell on YouTube. He posted a video about a year ago titled Inadvertent Intravenous Injections. I highly recommend you check out his channel, the link will be down below. But in his video, he talks about a study done by Oxford Academy. The study is titled, quote, Intravenous Injection of Coronavirus Disease 2019, COVID-19, mRNA vaccine can induce acute myopericarditis in mouse models, end quote. And it was done in August of 2021. The focus of the study was to see what happens when you incorrectly inject the COVID-19 vaccine directly into a vein as opposed to directly into a muscle as it should be. By injecting mice both intravenously into the vein and intramuscular into the muscle with the mRNA vaccine, they were able to compare the effects it had on the heart by checking for troponin in the blood. Troponin is a type of protein that is released by the heart into the bloodstream after damage to the heart is detected. For example, blood is taken to diagnose a heart attack by measuring the troponin. In the study, they checked the troponin levels and used the technique known as histopathological, which means they examined tissues under a microscope to check for manifestation of disease. It's important to note that this was a vivo study and not the typical ex vivo. What that means is living organisms were used instead of extracting organisms. That matters in showing how the vaccine actually interacts with our living bodies. They found that muscles in the heart were affected only in the intravenous mice. Conclusion: this study provided in vivo evidence that inadvertent intravenous injection of COVID-19 mRNA vaccines may induce myopericarditis. Brief withdrawal of the syringe plunger to exclude blood aspiration may be one possible way to reduce such risk. Millions of Americans are getting the vaccine jabbed into them without the medical professional taking 2 seconds it takes to pull back on the plunger to confirm the needle isn't in a vein. I want to thank you for your quest for the truth. My new documentary, The Big Jab, is coming very soon. If you'd like to learn more or contribute to the film, go to thebigjabmovie.com. Please consider hitting the subscribe button for more content just like this, and by hitting the like button to help fight censorship of the truth. I'll leave you with this quote: withholding information is the essence of tyranny. Control of the flow of information is the tool of the dictatorship.